tonight. So if you haven't heard, DeAndre Hopkins is going to the Titans. 2 years, $26 million deal. $26 million. Worth up to 32 with incentives. If you've been following my coverage with the Patriots, you know that I was adamant that they needed to get this guy for a variety of reasons. Depth. We have a bunch of guys that are beat up. We need a solid starting wide receiver. No questions asked. Put him out there. Would be an operable receiver in an offense. A guy who's experienced multiple different coaches, different quarterbacks, different positions, alignments in the offense. True number one. Guy's been basically a 1,000-yard receiver most of his career. Yeah, it was obvious. Then, when I actually saw the deal, my first thought was, which I've seen a few tweets now that I've looked through, which it seems like everybody's getting on this, you were giving Jonnu Smith 4 years for 50, I think, and you can't figure out to outbid the Titans, who are giving 2 years at 26 with a lot of incentives. This is a joke. You have the cap space, you have the money. The only reason why I think they wouldn't want to is, well, assuming it was maybe DeAndre didn't want it. You know, we can go on that side, which we don't know. We probably never know. But, you know, maybe the Patriots weren't being as aggressive because they're really actually happy with what they got. And I'll say this, and I'm not apologizing for them or making excuses, but the Patriots in terms of pass catchers, receivers, tight ends are much better this year than they were last year on paper. We don't know what's going to happen this season, but on paper, we're better. I think that's very obvious to everybody. So let's just go with that's probably the primary reason why they didn't. Because it can't be really money because they have it. There's nothing they like really. I mean, they can re-sign some deals, extensions, all that stuff during the season. Maybe soon. Maybe some guys that are up at the end of the season, they'll get a renegotiated contract. Who knows what's going on there? But I don't think that would really be a massive impact on getting DeAndre. You know, maybe they're looking at running back, which I think, again, would be independent of getting DeAndre, unless they're really thinking about getting Dalvin Cook, which I think would be a problem, especially for how much money he's looking for. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but I just wanted to make like a reaction video. But most people are going to do a reaction video and just be like, yeah, man, Belichick sucks, you know, why didn't we get him? It sucks. Go get Mahomes. Max sucks. Stuff like that. And, you know, that once that kind of settles down, you have to start thinking, you know, why didn't they do it? Why did he go to the Titans? And you can have a little bit of kind of calming down on both sides there, which is, you know, the reality is, hey, they're better than they were last year on paper in terms of offense. But at this time, there's always going to be the like, well, why not? Why didn't you do this? And you can say it's 50-50 there too, which is like, was it the Patriots or was it DeAndre? We don't know. But I'm kind of disappointed with the memes thus far, minus the fact that everybody's pointing out that the Titans are the graveyard for really great wide receivers. So he's getting paid and he'll live out the next few years just being, you know, maybe getting 1,000 yards, but 1,000 yards to what, you know? I think the Titans this year with him might be a playoff team. Might be a serious contender. Not Super Bowl, but it'll be interesting. I guess we'll find out this season, huh? But yeah, this is the idea. Like, I mean, all your greats just end up going to Titans and just falling apart. Sad. Some of my favorite guys of all time. Actually, those are my favorite receivers of all time, so DeAndre's not in there, but the other three, yeah. So, ooh, that should be good. Exactly. Yeah. Dude, what were you doing? What? I don't know what I would do as a coach. It's just funny. Yeah, Thornton's like, dude, what are we doing? That was the season last year. They won that. What'd they have to do? Yeah, Mac, I feel bad for you, man. Yeah, this is the type of thing, Bill, where, you know, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this, and you gotta go. I mean, like, Robert Kraft, man, Crafty Bob, you're looking at this right now, and you gotta be wondering, like, what is he doing? Like, why not? Tell me why not. He's got to explain, obviously, and maybe he has a great explanation. I think Bill's probably got something here to say. But you gotta, like, it's gotta be a really good, like, yeah, we couldn't afford him. Nope, that's not true. You know, you know what? The only thing I can say is maybe the guy's knee injury or just through his physical was just so bad that they're like, I'm not sure if we're gonna get that out of him. But right now we got that's fine. Yeah, maybe the guy's just so beat up and the physician said, yeah, which would be a red flag for me because we have. But you know what? We just re-signed what, Devontae? Dude's a walking hamstring. Yep, that's a good one. Yep. Come on, Bill. Come on. Twitter comes through every once in a while. What is this stuff? I'm sorry, dude. Anyway, so what's next? I don't know. I've been doing a video, been working on a video for, it's a 3-part series on fixing the offense. I'm gonna hope to get most of them out this week. It's been rough, I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've gotten something a little bit more in depth in going there, but what's Kayshawn got to say? Yeah, you gotta make it through camp first, brother. But back to talking about that video, which is, you know, last year we were 32nd in red zone and yards to go and goal. So our goal line offense, essentially 10 yards and under, we were in, like, I think we were like 28th or 29th. Third down conversions was like high, I think 27 or something like that. Fourth down was like 28. So the offense really had struggles to move the ball when they really, really needed to. They were able to get the big plays in, a lot of good plays downfield, which set them up for some big scores, a lot of field goals too. But in terms of just grinding the ball down the field, which was what they were really good in 2021, that's the really big difference. Is in 2021 they were able to grind the ball down the field. They had a fullback. Jakob Johnson was very instrumental in terms of unlocking Damian Harris for like half the rushing touchdowns. He was also important in the middle of the field. He went in motion. He helped Mac identify the defense. You know, it was a blocker in motion. So, you know, he got a little jump start there, and you know, some of those turned out to be play actions, and it worked out. It was a great offense. Last year, this guy was running the show, and it was a disaster. play calls, nothing looked like it was being set up. Nothing made any sense. I don't know how many times we were like 3 and out, and it didn't look like we were even trying. Like, nothing was building. It was just like, you know, it was the idea of just like, let's ask Madden, like just basic stuff, and it never looked like we were trying to figure out. We were not poking and prodding the defense like you needed to for the big play. But even when we were poking and prodding, it was not right. It was not enough to move the ball and also try to weaken up the defense or uncover a vulnerability to set them up for a big play. And you weren't taking advantage of things in motion. You were helping Mac. And the offensive line obviously struggled as well. It was a disaster. That was probably the biggest weakness last year. I went through all the data again for offense, and it all comes down to ability for the offense to give Mac time and also pat run blocking. It was horrendous. It was terrible. Stevenson, although had a lot of yards last year, there was a step back in terms of average, or step back as a team in terms of average per rush. So, yeah, yards per carry were down, and it hurt a lot because, you know, Stevenson, although had a lot of all-purpose yards, didn't really have an amazing rushing season. Obviously, Damian Harrison was out for a long period of time, so he was missing out a lot. Again, going back to not having Jakob Johnson. All these things hurt last year. So I think our next thing is, do we attempt to go get Fournette or Zeke? I've been, again, adamant on both of those guys. I've been more on the Zeke side because I think Zeke's a better pass blocker, which I think is what we're going to need if the offensive line is going to be horrendous. And Mac's going to get, you know, I mean, last year we doubled the amount of sacks per game for Mac. We got to stop that. Zeke's one of the best pass blockers as a halfback. So he just seems like he's the guy to go with. I don't want to overpay for him, but now we might have to go out and do something to, you know, pay a little bit up for him. I mean, and if we do, everybody's gonna hate it. Everybody's gonna hate it. It's gonna suck because everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, you're gonna pay Zeke like $5 million and not get DeAndre for 13 or 14." Yeah, I'll agree with you. I'm not gonna be too happy about that, but I'm not gonna hate getting somebody to at least help out Mac. He's gonna need the time. That's just reality. If we want to get even close to what we were, it's gonna come down to Mac not getting lit up, and not getting rushed. Even if you go back and look at his interceptions from last year, I think like a third of them were all like him getting hit, tipped balls, and then a good chunk of them were also like, you know, coming off a receiver's hand. I would say less than a third of them were probably him making a really bad decision, and the rest of them were just really bad throws. So, but yeah, I mean, I actually only saw about a handful of them where it was just like, what were you thinking? And then there was a good chunk of them that was a bad throw. You don't have the arm to pull that off. And then the vast majority of them were either tips off the receiver's hands, or he was getting hit as he was throwing. So if you get those ones where he was getting tipped and getting hit, he'd be right back to where he was last year in terms of 2021 in terms of sacks. So let's work on that. Yeah, this goes right here. I mean, I didn't even read this, but this is perfect. So that's what I got. I'm going to end it here. We'll see what's going to happen. It's going to be a nightmare for the next week. People calling into every sports radio just telling you how Belichick's washed up and he's moving on. Need to move on from him. The game, quote, has passed him by. First time in a long time. Actually, first time ever. I'm really kind of agreeing. Unless there's something we don't know, which we will never know. So all we can speculate is that Bills out of touch. No. Please, no. No. Alright, guys. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.